Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a trial date is set for a Jackson County man accused of killing his girlfriend.
A longtime Victoria ISD educator is stepping into a major leadership role.
A heated community meeting in Bloomington puts the future of incorporation and local services in the spotlight.
We'll be taking a look at which way your wind blows this week and whether it'll be good to be outdoors. All that coming up in a moment.
And today, the 3A District 25-26 track meet was held at Rice Consolidated High School earlier today. We'll hear from some of the top placers in the Crossroads coming up in sport.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Brubaker.
New at 10, a big administrative move in Victoria ISD. The board tonight naming Justin Gabrish as the district's new Assistant Superintendent of Administration. Gabrish is no stranger to VISD. He's been part of the team since 2006, serving as a teacher, coach, assistant principal, and most recently principal at Victoria East High School. Along the way, he has picked up some major honors, including VISD Teacher of the Year and Region 3 Outstanding Principal of the Year. Now he's stepping into this new leadership role to help shape the future of the district. The position became vacant when Dr. Stanton Lawrence retired in December.
A Victoria man turns himself in on a federal violation of probation warrant. Last month, 52-year-old Jose Pena Jr. pled no contest to a DWI charge. Yesterday, he turned himself in at the Victoria County Sheriff's Office for violating probation related to a racketeering charge. He's being held without bond.
A new trial date is set for a Jackson County man accused of killing his girlfriend. Authorities say 36-year-old Ramon Palacios shot his girlfriend, Roseanne Martinez, in August of last year. Authorities responded to a 911 call of possible gunshots near Cleus and Buffalo Streets in Edna. They say Palacios confessed to shooting his girlfriend. The new trial date is set for Monday, August 11th.
The Goliad County Sheriff's Office stops the smuggling of guns to Mexican cartel members. Eric Morales and Jose Maldonado, both of Georgia, were arrested during a traffic stop. Deputies say they were smuggling firearms from the U.S. to Mexico and taking a sports car to be delivered to a Mexican cartel member. Rifles, handguns, ammunition, and 2 cars were seized by deputies. Both men are in the Goliad County Jail in lieu of $60,000 each.
The Southside Community Coalition heard details on the City of Victoria's proposed venue tax and community center expansion project. Mayor Dwayne Crocker led a presentation to break down the $35 million renovation. It's composed of 3 funding sources: the hotel and rental car tax that's up for a vote, along with certificates of obligations and other sources such as interest income and utility funds. The venue taxes would cover $15 million of the total $35 million expansion. Crocker says this expansion could lead to more space for concerts, rodeos, and conventions.
The citizens will have an even better space for our community. We think we'll be able to bring in more events and larger events.
Election day is May 3rd. Early voting is April 22nd through the 29th. A critical conversation is unfolding in the city of Bloomington, where community members gathered for a town hall tonight, voicing concerns about the future of their town. 25
News Now weekend anchor Amaya Norman joins us with the details. Amaya?
Yes, Shawna and Dawn, thank you. Residents came out in force to meet with mayoral and city council candidates, bringing their concerns directly to those hoping to represent them. The focus of the meeting was whether or not Bloomington should become an incorporated city. Attendees also warned that without incorporation, the community could face rising property tax, potentially pricing longtime residents out of their own homes. Another concern at the meeting was the possibility of losing vital services currently provided by the county if the incorporation is passed. We spoke with Ernest Longoria, who expressed the need to bring the community back. He shared his desire to help the community and leave something meaningful for his kids in the future. In Bloomington, incorporation fails on election day. Residents will need to collect enough signatures on a new petition. From there, it will be up to the county judge to decide the town's next step. Voters are being urged to cast their ballots in the upcoming election on May 3rd, a date many believe could define Bloomington's future. Dawn and Shawna, back to you.
Thank you, Amaya. The Salt Flats fire in Rockport is now 85% contained, but not before burning through at least 157 acres. The fire sparked along 35 bypass between Highway 188 and 16th Street. Officials say 6 homes, 9 outbuildings, and 2 camper trailers have been lost in the flames. So far, 42 different agencies have jumped in to help fight the fire. As of 5 p.m. this evening, 35 bypass was reopened, but there could be ongoing road closures in the area due to fighting hot spots.
The U.S. Small Business Administration offers relief to Texas small businesses and private nonprofits affected by the November drought. Low-interest disaster loans are now available for economic losses caused by the drought beginning November 1st, 2024. The disaster declaration covers area counties such as Victoria, Calhoun, DeWitt, Lavaca, Jackson, Goliad, Matagorda, Wharton, and Refugio. The loans may be used to pay fixed debts, payroll, accounts payable, and other bills not paid due to the disaster. This brings us to our viewer poll tonight. Now, the SBA is unable to provide disaster loans to agricultural producers, farmers, or ranchers, except for small aquaculture enterprises. Here's the question. Do you think the eligibility criteria for the SBA's disaster loans should be expanded to include agricultural producers, farmers, and ranchers? Overwhelmingly, 75% of our voters say yes, the ag people should be included in this loan eligibility. We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we thank you for voting.
Well, we do need some more rain, but it doesn't look like we're getting any, at least within the next several days.
Yes. I would, Mac, personally, I'd like to have a rain skipped on the weekends. Can you work that out?
Just during the week?
I'm working on a computer program to program that in so that I can input and say only Monday through Thursday and not on the weekend. It's going to be tough. Anyway, folks, we are getting on the weekend. It's going to be a terrific weekend to be outdoors, but there is no rain this weekend. We'll take a look, and I'll try and give you an idea of when the next rain will finally come. All that coming up in just a moment.
A community in mourning tonight after a tragedy in New York's Hudson River. A tourist helicopter carrying a family of 5 on a sightseeing tour of the city crashing this afternoon, killing everyone on board. Officials say the helicopter hit the water upside down.
Here's how witnesses describe the scene.
Tragedy in the water right off of New York City.
Be advised, you do have an aircraft down Holland Tunnel. Please keep your eyes open for anybody in the water.
Tonight, the wreckage of a helicopter that crashed in the Hudson River removed from the water. A family of tourists from Spain on board. Law enforcement says the family of 5, including 3 children aged 4, 5, and 11, were on a chopper tour of the city when it crashed just minutes after taking off. The rotor blade disconnected, spinning in the air before hitting the water. Everyone on board confirmed dead.
If your rotor system disintegrates, goes away, stops, blows up, or loses a blade, your whole ability to fly is 100% compromised at that point, and you're simply going to go down.
Witnesses watching in horror as the tragedy unfolded just before 3:30 in the afternoon.
It sounded like a sonic boom on my right. So I look up and literally I just see a helicopter splitting in two with the rotor flying off in the sky. It was going so fast and just went straight into the water.
Witnesses saw debris falling from the sky.
And I heard a loud snap or like a kind of sound barrier breaking sound, and I could see a helicopter falling on its side and splashing the water right next to that red barge over there.
Tour company New York Helicopters operating the flight. The CEO telling ABC News his staff has not stopped crying and they are all devastated by this deadly disaster. The FAA and NTSB will both be on scene conducting investigations into what exactly happened here with this crash. In Lower Manhattan, Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
At least 6 members of Congress got an unexpected scare at Reagan National Airport. They were on board an American Airlines flight when another plane clipped their wing while taxiing. Representative Nick Lolota even shared a photo on X saying Congress has brought some once-in-a-lifetime experiences, including getting bumped by another plane while just sitting on the runway. The flight was headed to New York but had to pause for inspections before taking off.
We were standing still, waiting to take off. That's when this actual other plane actually hit the wing of our plane. And so we couldn't move, we couldn't do anything. We were sitting in the plane for about a half hour, and then we had to get to the gate, and now they said that the plane can't fly.
The plane that clipped them was an American Eagle flight headed for Charleston, South Carolina. There were no reported injuries.
The next move in the potential transfer of the University of Houston-Victoria to the Texas A&M University system comes next Tuesday. State Representative District 30 A.J. Louderback announced that House Bill 5150, the House bill to transfer UHV to the A&M University system, is set for hearing in the Committee on Higher Education April 15th at 8 a.m. Representative Louderback said on his Facebook page, quote, "I am ready to help get this transfer over the finish line," unquote. State Senator District 18 Lois Kolkhorst presented the Senate bill for hearing last Thursday.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, students walk out at UT protesting deportations and demanding action from campus leaders. Also ahead, a Senate committee takes on the clock, why lawmakers are revisiting daylight saving time. At UT Austin today, students walked out of class protesting what they call mass deportations and silence from campus leaders. The university admits some international students recently faced unexpected changes to their visas, but did not say how many or why. Some reports say the changes came after staff checked federal databases, leaving students afraid that what they post online could impact their status. Now protesters want the university to do more to protect all students, regardless of citizenship. Well, getting accepted into college is a big accomplishment for any student, but for one Houston teen, he wasn't just accepted into one college, but several.
His list of choices includes the 8 Ivy League universities, among others, and this teen made his choice of where he plans on studying in the fall.
I want to attribute my success not only to myself, but to other people around me.
Humble and hardworking, that's how family members and teachers describe George Bush High School senior Ten Pham.
It's so exciting and proud of my son.
He was accepted to all 8 Ivy League universities as well as several other prestigious colleges all over the country. So where's he going?
I'm actually not attending an Ivy League school. I'm attending MIT.
The Massachusetts Institute of Technology is ranked number 2 on U.S. News and World Report's list of top national universities. Ten says MIT is offering him a full ride, and it has a top-notch program for his area of study, computer science and engineering. But he also chose MIT for other reasons.
And MIT has a very quirky community that I love. It's full of problem solvers, collaborators, just people who just want to work together to help advance tomorrow's problems and bridge the problems and solutions of humanity.
His teachers taking pictures with him say it's his curiosity that sets him apart.
He comes by the ideas easily, but he always asked more questions, to the point where I would be like, I don't know, hold on, let's go find out. He pushed me as a teacher to have answers that nobody had really asked for before.
10 just excited for his next chapter at MIT.
And I can't wait to be a part of that community.
Texas senators could vote this week on a bill that would drastically limit how the state's public universities teach students about history, race, and inequality. Senate Bill 37 would allow anyone to file complaints that could lead schools to lose funds. To read the full Texas Tribune article, visit crossroadstoday.com.
The Food and Drug Administration says it's phasing out a long-standing requirement that certain drugs be tested on animals before moving to human trials. The agency says new methods like AI-based computer models and lab-grown human organs are more effective and human relevant. The FDA says this change will help bring new treatments to patients faster and may even help reduce drug costs. Sales of e-cigarettes or vapes are skyrocketing. Here's what you need to know to protect your family.
With more, here's ABC's Zoreen Shaw with today's Medical Minute.
E-cigarette sales have jumped 47% from 2019 to 2023, according to the CDC Foundation. Popular flavors like candy, fruit, and mint account for more than 80% of sales, and none are FDA approved. These sweet flavors are packed with highly addictive nicotine, making e-cigarettes especially tempting to kids and teens, and even more dangerous. If you're a parent or caregiver, talk to your kids about the risk of e-cigarettes and vapes and encourage them to stay nicotine-free. The CDC says there are no safe tobacco products. For more help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. With this Medical Minute, I'm Zoreen Shah.
A new study is raising red flags about heavy drinking and brain health. Researchers found that people who had 8 or more alcoholic drinks a week were much more likely to develop memory and thinking problems later in life. They looked at brain tissue from about 1,700 people, most in their mid-70s when they passed, and spoke with family members about their drinking habits. The results? Heavy drinkers were more than twice as likely to have brain lesions. Even former heavy drinkers and moderate drinkers showed a higher risk compared to those who did not drink at all. A Senate committee today took time to talk about time. The Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee convened a hearing about daylight saving time. The committee looking at the twice-yearly clock change and its impact on Americans. Also possibly making standard time or daylight saving time permanent.
Twice a year, we find ourselves adjusting our clocks, shifting an hour of daylight forward in the spring, springing forward, and falling back in the fall. For many Americans, this biannual ritual is a minor inconvenience, something we endure without giving it much thought. But when we take a closer look at the implications of changing the clocks, its impact on our economy, our health, and our everyday lives, we can see that this practice is more than an annoyance.
There is bipartisan interest in ending this twice-a-year clock change. Congress still has not agreed on which time to make permanent.
Well, good evening, everybody. We're looking at 62 degrees right about now. The temperature is dropping. The humidity is rising, so we may have a little bit of fog early in the morning. We got up to 86 today. 56 was the overnight low, but we've got a tiny little front that's coming in tomorrow afternoon, and then it'll give us some dry air. So the weekend's looking good. We'll have all the details coming up after this. Well, you heard earlier today about the fire down in Aransas County. It's actually, here's Rockport, Fulton, but the bypass, which is State Highway 35, is where the fire occurred. Looks like things are getting better or under control there. They got 85% control of it, and that's good because we don't have any wild, harrowing winds like we had a couple of weeks ago. So that hopefully will settle down, and over the weekend, the sea breeze will be kind of shifting around on us, so I'll tell you more about that in a minute. While things are quiet in Texas, it is not quiet in the south. Let's see, well, we started in the mid-Mississippi Valley. Now a huge line of storms rolling down toward the southeast, already moving into the Georgia area. These storms are really rough and dropping a lot of rain. For us, southerly winds right now, but tomorrow this little frontal system will drift through our area. It's not a big deal, but it will change the wind direction around a little bit, and so we'll get a north wind behind it and a slight cooling trend. Not much of a cooling trend. Let me show you this. This is where all the action is tonight. As the storm circles around in this direction, the thunderstorms are now dropping south, and you can see how they're rolled already right at Atlanta right about now. I'm sure Hartsfield Airport's not having a good time. We look on the west coast to see if any fronts are coming. There's a big front there, and there's a lot of cold air on the Pacific, but at this time, it's not, well, in the next 7 days, it's not coming in our direction. The reason being high pressure is built up over us, and that's blocking everything. So we'll be warm on your Friday. The little front will come in, and we'll be 83 on Saturday, but the weekend is looking spectacular. By the time we get to Sunday, we'll get back to that south wind. Here's the moisture and the humidity that we have around the coast right about now, and it continues to rise. So as the temperature drops down to the dew point, that's why we're probably going to see a little fog, at least along the immediate coastlines in the morning hours. Next few days, going to be gorgeous. I mean, if you need to do anything outdoors, you've got some gorgeous weather. We've got wall-to-wall sunshine until about Monday. Then Monday, a big deck of clouds rolls in from the Pacific Southwest, but other than that, things are looking pretty good. Tomorrow morning, we'll get down to about a 59, 60 degree low temperature. And then your Friday really is going to be on the warm side, but with low humidity, it's not that oppressive summer humid thing that we normally get. But we're looking at 92 in San Antonio, 95 down along the Rio Grande. So here's your day planner. A little bit of cloud cover early, then wall-to-wall sunshine all day long in Port Lavaca, getting up to about an 84. In Cuero, you've got just wonderful sunshine, fairly light winds as the front comes through. So morning is quiet, afternoon is quiet because it's shifting around, and we don't get back to that sea breeze until probably Sunday. So here is your weekend forecast. There's that little front, there's a little dry line. Lovely for Saturday, Sunday, looking good for the early part of next week. No real rain chance for the next 7 days, and you can write this down. I believe that after Easter, on Easter Monday and Tuesday, we may have a chance of shower activity. So let's hope that we can get something else going. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. We'll toss it over to Maxwell with your Athlete of the Week.
That's right, Mac. After the break, we're going to figure out who will be tonight's Athlete of the Week. So in a couple moments, I'll tell you who that is. Coming up. All right, good evening here, Crossroads. And who are we going to give tonight's Athlete of the Week to? Well, we're going to hand it out to the track. Because last week we gave it to the baseball player there for St. Joseph Flyers and Jonah Cantu. Well, tonight we're going to give it to Goliad girls track and field runner Kiana Lee. Here's 25 News Now sports reporter Ray Robinson for our Athlete of the Week.
It's been an impressive track and field season for Goliad High School. This season alone, we've seen 3 school records being broke. And your Athlete of the Week is the young lady who did just that by breaking a 45-year-old school record in the 100-meter dash, recording it in 11.8 seconds. I'm talking about junior Kiana Lee.
I was really surprised by it, but when I heard about it, I was really excited by it, and I'm trying to break the other school records too. But I always wanted to run. I've always been running since I was little too, since 8. So it's always been a dream of mine to break records and to get better at track. So
Kiana's love and inspiration for the game of track was evident in my conversation with her. She has a drive unlike any other, and she plans to take this drive as she prepares for the area finals on Thursday.
Hard. I've always been working hard, but then once I seen it, I was like, okay, I want to get to that goal, so I have to work for it. I just pray. I pray through it, and then when I hear the gun, that's when I turn my head to what I need to do, and then I do what I need to do.
Ray Robinson, KAVU TV 25 News Now, Sports.
All right, now speaking of Kiana, Goliad Track and Field did compete today in the area championships held at Rice Consolidated High School. And the Goliad girls team actually were area champions today. And also the boys team got runners up. So for the girls, they got first. For Industrial, they got 3rd place. Yoakum got 4th place for the girls. Hallettsville 5th. Tidehaven got 6th. Now for the boys, Yoakum won with a big-time point number with 128 points, and Hallettsville would finish 4th place. And some individual standouts there were for Goliad. The girls won the 4x100-meter relay, and Yoakum, they won, again, the boys also the 4x100-meter relay. And Lamont Franklin, who we kind of covered earlier there on Monday, got his personal record there in the 100-meter dash there. Got 2nd place, though, so had a 10.72 100-meter dash. So if you want to see the full results there of to meet, I'll have, again, a couple of standouts and the whole team scores from today on CrossroadsToday.com. Now over from track here to what's happening out here for the waters this week. As you kind of heard from Mac just a minute ago, the weather's going to be perfect. Got sunny weather, not too humid, so we'll get a lot of fishing out this week. Well, see if they can look at this, because we're going to start here at the freshwater area at Coletto Creek, where today the waters were good at 68 degrees. Bass fishing was consistent there on soft plastic lizards, craw worms. If you want to use those, kind of similar from last week we talked with Coletto Creek. Again, same type of thing around the reeds and stumps. Over to the saltwater area at East Matagorda Bay, the water is fair right now. It's 70 degrees. And again, wade and drift fishing should be around in the bay later in the week here. And again, shrimp are starting to show up in the bay. So if you want to catch for trout, this is the week to do it there around East Matagorda Bay. And then redfish are in the back lakes as well. So again, hit every spot you can if you want to go to East Matagorda Bay here this weekend. As for Rockport, a little bit different. We've talked about Port O'Connor the past couple of weeks, but Rockport, the water is good right now at 73 degrees. And redfish are great there on cut bait and shallow flats area. And trout, again, same thing like East Matagorda Bay. They're good on live shrimp in about 3 to 4 feet of water. That's going to do it here in sports. Don and Shawna, back to you.
Max, thank you, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10. We'll take a last look at your weather, plus a marshmallow masterpiece. How artists in Wisconsin are turning peeps into Easter creations.
Stay up late or you're chicken jockey.
Every time Freddie's been in the car, he'll come home and he'll be like, Grandma hit someone again and got in a fight with a Tesla driver. She hates Teslas.
See, an effort to rename Nashville International Airport after the Queen of Country Music is growing. So far, more than 50,000 people have signed a petition in favor of renaming the airport after Dolly Parton. The petition got started after state lawmakers introduced a bill to rename the airport after President Donald Trump. But those who support the petition say it's only fitting for the airport to carry the name of a remarkable woman who represents the best of Tennessee.
Of course, if they name the airport after her, the flights will only leave and come from 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
They're soft, they're sweet, and they blow up in the microwave. And sometimes,
yeah.
they do, and sometimes there are.
Peeps.
We're talking about one of the most sure signs Easter is here. Peeps. The Riverfront Arts Center in Wisconsin is hosting its annual Peeps show. Creative types submitted paintings, sculptures, dioramas, pretty much anything involving the Marshmallow Chicks. The Peeps exhibit traces its roots to 2008. The center developed it at the height of the Great Recession as a cheap alternative to expensive exhibitions. So they're going to spend money, save money on Peeps.
On Peeps.
They don't taste good, so you might as well use them for something.
I mean, use them for a display if you need.
You have to keep them away from me because I'll eat the whole box.
Really?
That's my problem. I don't know what. It just.
So we get you tickets for that exposition? You may
Maybe
eat all the exhibits.
Maybe I should go. Very lovely exposition you have, folks. Anyway, the weekend is here, folks. Yes, it's Friday. We're getting up to about 87, and the weekend, you couldn't ask for nicer weather. Humidities will be low, winds will be light, and the sun will be out. So enjoy.
All right, well, a lot of us celebrate our pets every day, but doing so is especially important tomorrow because it is National Pet Day, observed every year on April 11th. The day is dedicated to pets who may not be getting the attention and companionship that they deserve. We're talking about the orphaned pets or those at shelters needing a forever home. Because hopefully if they're in your home, they're getting very well taken care of. This day is also the perfect time to double check your pet's vaccination schedule and any medications that they take. You can also give them a little extra love with a bath, or weather will be nice for a long walk.
Absolutely.
Take them out to the dog park.
Exactly.
Maybe tomorrow's a good day to go to one of those shelters and maybe adopt.
Sure. And don't forget to rub their ears. They love that stuff.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight.
25 News Now Sunrise at 5 a.m. Jimmy Kimmel Live starts now.